So LinkedIn's finally gone and done it. I was scrolling down, I thought something seems a little bit disproportionate here. And I'm pro everybody, pro black voices, for sure. But right here they have black voices to follow and amplify. And my only issue that I take with that is that if you flip something to the inverse like that and then run it and see what it's like, it would be like white voices to amplify. If I saw white voices to amplify or any specific race there to amplify, I'd be like, whoa, wait a minute, that's racism. And so that's what I see right there with black voices to amplify. Not that these people don't deserve amplification, but the fact that they're singled out by their race, you know. And the other thing with inversion was, what if this was like some particular race of voices to avoid, you know, things like that. These people, I'd be willing to bet they all could ride their merit alone. So why not push them out based on their merit? Why not push them out based on other qualifications that they have besides their skin color or their gender or anything like that? One thing that I've noticed with things like affirmative action in the past is that they can lead to a more negative view of particular people and particular circumstances, because you know that maybe they didn't get there based on merit and they got there based on skin color alone or something like that. And that can lead to other thoughts, you know, like I don't want to be like too crazy specific about it or single anybody out or anything, but there's been situations, I mean, I've seen it work on a certain scale for even bringing forward like diversity in general. If uh, if there's diversity, there is a certain degree of just being diverse across the board, not based on race or gender or any of that, of course, but just being diverse, hiring diverse voices. And there's plenty of other things to look at, in my opinion, that would lead to hiring more people of a color in a department and things like that. But anyway, this is flat out racism. It's going to lead to people that are underqualified being, you know, if this pans out, it leads to people who are underqualified in positions like in with an affirmative action situation that end up holding higher positions, and then they could potentially be like a, they can make others look stupid, you know. There's people of color who have worked very hard to get where they're at and probably battled in situations where there wasn't enough diversity, you know, and really had an uphill climb. I'm not saying that doesn't happen. I think that happens all the time, as a matter of fact. And this is could make them look bad. This could make them become just another number, and once that number's filled, like, oh, they need 3 out of 10 people in this department need to be quote unquote black or whatever, or quote unquote African American or whatever. I mean, how do you even define race? Like this lady right here, nothing against her, but she looks a lot more pale than she does dark. And I know that people who are, you know, only partially of color, in the past especially, they've had discrimination. So I'm not trying to like glaze over that fact at all, but I'm just saying, like, where do you draw what lines and stuff, you know? And this, it's just, it leads to not the best things. I'm happy to see these people at the top of the thing getting a spotlight on them, but I have to wonder, who are these people, you know? What are they just, are they really random people of color, or are they some people that are part of the one of these like political action committee kind of groups? there's a lot of factors like that that could be really, those kind of gears could be turning behind the scenes under this guise of diversity when it's really a guise of these people are going to push a particular agenda or something like that if they get in. So anyway, I would just like to see. I was worried about this too when I first logged into LinkedIn like a year or two or whatever ago it was, and I noticed I was getting pushed a lot of Indian people for a while, and I love Indian people. Like I totally love them, and I was connecting with a lot of them. And I don't. It wasn't just. I don't think it wasn't just like I was connecting with so many that they started sending me more Indian people. It was like for a minute, all I was getting was 100% Indian people to where it was way more disproportionate than just like follow Black Voices little box at the top like that. Um, and then after them, it was just foreign Asian people, not like mostly like Chinese people and stuff. And it was just 100% that. And so I thought that's really fishy. You know, their algorithm shouldn't be doing that. It shouldn't be singling people out like that and focusing on their race and everything. And I made a little bit of a stink about it in a post or whatever way back when. But yeah, anyway, this is racist. I mean, sorry to say it, but this is racist. Like, picture if this was white people to follow and you came in here and you're just like, what? But obviously, white people, they're trying to push white people, a lot of people, to what black people were 100 or so years ago. Or I should say more accurately to like 50 years ago, right? Or what is it? 10, 20. Yeah, about 50 years ago. Um, and so if they're pushing white people back that direction, how far are they going to keep pushing with that, you know? And this is supporting that type of an initiative. I'm going to just click on the first person. I'm not trying to single them out necessarily. And just look at her credentials down here. I don't even care whether or not somebody went to college or anything like that, but I mean right here, what do we have featured? She's obviously done some stuff right here that is pretty pro looking. Like, I don't know, I haven't been on LinkedIn that much in a while, so I think these are like articles or posts, something like that, some type of featured posts, I think. Okay, so founder, 2 years and 10 months, founder of Mosaic Genius, sustainable to build a sustainable ecosystem for wealth in communities of color around the world by connecting and supporting emerging and established venture capitalists, increasing the number of diverse entrepreneurs who are building wealth and creating a more sustainable impact economy for all. Um, so that's obviously been around to whatever degree for over 2 years now, going on 3 years. So that seems to be somewhat successful. It's not a restaurant, so by my gauge, that's pretty successful. I don't know how much, what, obviously I can't see into it further than that. Um, this person's been a consultant at Credit Suisse, I think, for 11 months. Cool. Philanthropy contributor, Black Enterprise Magazine, covering philanthropy and social impact, current events. Heart and head of philanthropy. I mean, it looks like they're doing better than I have as far as what they've got going on here. And this thing up here, sort of like a SJW kind of vibe for where is it? Communities of color, which I don't know. I don't want to say too much on that, but even that kind of says, okay, this is sort of their game. Let's go back and but that's cool. I mean, she's obviously established these people in these top frames here don't look like they're hurting at all. I mean, what if this was based on politics too, you know? And like I said, I don't, maybe there's like a tinge of jealousy in there of me. I don't think there is, but, and that I don't have any basis of that to say this, but just to like really peel it open, you know, you could say that even regardless of color, I'm a little bit jealous that these people are featured anyway, because it's like, what, why are they getting, really just because of their skin color, you know? Like, this guy's dean of Wharton's, has served as dean of the Wharton School, University of Pennsylvania. I don't know. I would connect to, if I wanted to connect to a dean of the Wharton School, I would do it. I would have personally, maybe I just can't relate because I don't really consider myself a racist, and if I do have any racism in me, it would be towards wanting to diversify my network and maybe having a tendency to, like, without those people even being singled out. I noticed in the past sometimes I would be like, hey, you know what, whatever, and I would try and you know, when I'm flooded with connection requests or something and it is a bunch of white people that whatever, then I would sometimes, you know, I try not to, but sometimes I would click on people of color and be like, hey, I want to connect with this person. Just diversify my own connections. You know, I didn't have hiring power, but that's what I would do. But even then, when I would do it, I would think like, hey, come on, you know, don't, you need to figure something out. I need to figure something out for myself to dig in and break away from those algorithms, whether they're man or machine algorithms, and figure out a way to diversify, you know. So yeah, this person's not hurting at all. Um, I feel like it's a broken system that's offering me their fix. Like I said, when I was getting flooded with nothing but Indians, you know, I've never even been flooded with nothing but white people, thank God. But I've, I just feel like that's a broken system. That's a broken algorithm. Like, there should be some way to tune that algorithm to where these people come up in the mix without being singled out by their race or gender or anything like that. So I just wanted to point that out, that I'm not down with that. Um, I'm down with fairness for all people. And I come from a position where I'm going to give a little bit more info than I should, but I feel really discriminated against. You know, by the people that, like maybe by the Caucasian people, you could say, in general. I'm in, I'm a, what they might call a software engineer. I wouldn't use that word. I didn't graduate college. I've only been to 2 terms of college. And I, and the way that I talk, the way that my flow goes, I am discriminated against by those kind of people. Like, they don't want me in their clique. Trust me, I've tried. And so I feel like I'm fighting more of this discrimination than maybe Mr. Jason Wingard is, in all honesty. Or in my own way, maybe an equal amount. And it's obviously not skin color. It's obviously not gender. But maybe it is those things, and they don't feel like I fit that role. Like, they don't feel like I'm that typical white guy or whatever. So I'm going to get left in the dust even with these types of programs, regardless. You know, so that's one of the things I take issue with. And I want to say it's not jealousy. I want to say it's just because, you know, not that I am, I'll admit, yeah, maybe there is a tinge of jealousy or whatever, but I'm trying to make that not relevant. What it is I'm coming from my own personal experience, and I'm still looking for ways to deal with that. But I do see a lot of these people in the system that aren't me, and I'm once again, I'm not justifying racial promotion or discrimination, but negative discrimination, racial discrimination, either way. But I'm seeing that a lot of those people will sit around until they're forced to make a choice. A lot of those people in positions of power, and they'll get the pressure, if you want to say political pressure, and then they'll say, yeah, there's a problem. There's a problem. We don't hire enough women, or we don't pay women enough, or there's not enough people of color and everything. But they'll kick back. They won't do anything about it. You put the pressure on them. Yeah, they'll say, yeah, there could be this or that, and everything. Or I'm sure some of them will try and say that that's not an issue, which I haven't heard those type of claims, but I have heard the type of claims I'm talking about, where those people will admit that there's an issue, but yet they'll kick back until these types of things happen, like this right here within their workplace. So I don't think that's the answer. I think the answer is to find those people and root them out and get rid of them. They don't need to be there. We don't need to put arbitrary laws or weird stuff like this in there to work around them. We just need to root them out and get them, like, that's a broken system, and patching that with more rules, especially rules based around race and gender, is not going to be good, because that's always going to lead to some sort, you lose that meritocracy. And we need to have a system, especially if it, like I was speaking a little bit more directly to with software engineering, that system needs to be based on merit. That system, certain companies especially need the best. And I know that the best comes in all colors of people. Like, I know that personally, so I don't feel like these people aren't handicapped. I mean, maybe they are, no discrimination against somebody who's physically or mentally handicapped, but I don't think race makes somebody handicapped. So I don't think they need this sort of a handicap. I think they can bowl with the big boys, so to speak, without being handicapped. I think that's a disservice to all of these highly intelligent, kind of freakishly good looking people here. So that's what I wanted to say. Thank you.